What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Alicia. And so sadly, Halloween season is over. It's one of my favorite seasons to decorate, and I had a lot of fun making cups and decorations, and you saw my stuff, my spell book and the bottle. But gotta move on. So I know everybody else is moving on to Christmas season. I'm still snacking on my candy. So my trunk or treat never happened. And guess what? I have 2 bags of candy. I need to take these to work because I'm going to eat this all. And I'm going to get like cavities galore. Anyway, so I know everybody is moving on quickly to Christmas season. And I am just mentally not quite there. I'm getting there, guys. I promise. But I didn't want to skip over hunting season. So, because we are in the hunting season here up north. I don't know what everybody else is doing, but here in the north we are. I have a craft show this weekend, and so I wanted to get some wood grain tumblers done. And so check this beauty out. And you know, this is like super easy. It is my wood grain hack. If you feel like you really are not good at wood grain, like I feel like I just cannot get the wood grain look the way I want. So, if you're interested to see how I made this, stick around and I'm going to go ahead and get started. Alright guys, so I am using a 20-ounce Skinny Straight by Maker Flow, and I have not done anything to this cup. I have not sanded it, I've not spray painted it. The only thing I did was wipe it down with 91% alcohol. So, yep, guess what guys? It is, it's a full wrap, and this is not actually vinyl, but it is shelf paper. It is Duct brand that I purchased from Walmart, and it comes in a pretty big roll. So you could get a lot of cups out of this. And I like the color of the wood grain, so I'm using it. And so I've measured my cup, which is, if you're used to using the Maker Flow Skinny Straights, they're about 9.2 around. That's without epoxy and glitter. And so I measured out, and I went just a hair over the 9.2. So I usually go 9.3. Cutting off the excess, so I want to get it close to the same diameter, but with a little bit of overlap, because you're never going to see the overlap. You're never going to see the seam because the wood grain just blends right in together. So this shelf paper is a little bit thinner than most of your vinyls, but it's still pretty easy to work with. And so I didn't have any issues with bubbling or anything on this. Just make sure you don't spray paint before you put this on, because if you do, if you try to spray paint like an end, because the bottom of this I'm going to make black. If I were to spray paint it first, the overspray may show through the vinyl. So I'm going to do that actually last. So I've measured everything up, and I'm applying this just like I do any other full vinyl wrap. I am cutting off that excess, and then I'm going to lay it down, and I'm going to smooth it out, and I'm just going to use my fingers to just, you know, smooth. So I'm going to, you know, gently, like, peel the paper back, you know, gently, or just a little bit at a time. Jeez, I was trying to think of what I wanted to say. Just a little bit at a time, and just smooth it out with your fingers, making sure that you're not getting any bubbles. And if you do, since you're doing such a small spot, you can just pull it back up and then press it back down again. So it's really super easy peasy. If you do get a bubble that you missed, and it's kind of a stubborn bubble, you can go ahead and with your craft knife and poke a little hole, let that air out, and it'll smooth it out. So I've got this wrapped all the way around. I'm going to make sure that it is adhered to the bottom and the top, and I'm going to go ahead and trim the top with a pair of scissors. So I'm just going to use the rim as a guide, and it's going to be like a little tiny bit messy up at the top, and I'm not really worried about that, because what I'm going to do is later on, after I put my first coat of epoxy on, I'm going to give it a gentle sand around the rim so it exposes a little bit of that stainless steel, and then I'm going to do my final coat of epoxy. So if it's a tiny bit sloppy, you know, and there's like a little hangover, don't worry about that. Don't stress over it, because you're going to take that off later on. After I get that top trimmed up, I am going to go right into applying my vinyl decal. So I have these trees, and honestly guys, I'm so sorry, I can't remember where I got these from, but there are so many tree files on Etsy that you can't go wrong when you're looking there. And so I printed these up, so it's one file with 4 trees, and so I actually duplicated it and then stretched it out to measure the length of my cup, which was 9.3. And so after I get that first one down, I am gonna put the second one down, and don't worry if it overlaps a tiny bit, which it may and it will, and mine did, because they're trees and they can overlap just a teeny tiny bit, and it's no big deal, and it looks really good because they're all, it's the same tree basically. So, and trees, butt up against each other and the branches intertwine, so all is good. And so I did it in 2 sections rather than one full, because it was just easier to do it that way rather than doing a full wrap around. Because, if you don't get it, even, then, you've got to try to pull that up and put it down and blah, blah, blah. So it was just easier to do it into 2. And I'll show you that. I'm actually going to show you in just Design Space after I put this decal on how I did that. And so life is better in the woods, because hunters really feel that way. So this is it for that. And now I'm ready to tape off this cup and spray paint the bottom. So I am just using blue painter's tape, and I want to de-sticky it. So I just put it on my shirt so that it's not full sticky, because they do have this vinyl that's unprotected, it doesn't have any epoxy on it. And I don't want it to pull up any of the vinyl and make bubbles underneath when I go to pull it up after I'm done spray painting it. So I am just gonna wrap that painter's tape around the bottom, and I'm gonna get it, I'm gonna let the spray paint overlap the vinyl just a hair, just to blend it so that it's all the same. And then once I'm done with that, I am going to wrap it with saran wrap, and then I'm ready to take it outside and spray paint the bottom black. When that is dry, it is ready to pop on the turner for my first coat of epoxy. Once I'm done my first coat of epoxy, I am going to sand that top like I told you about, smooth that out, get that little bit of stainless steel showing. Then I'm going to do one more coat of epoxy, and this cup is going to be done, guys, that easy peasy. You can get this cup done in 24 hours, easy, with no issues at all. Alright guys, so I use Cricut Design Space, and so what I've done is I made a square in the size of my cup, so it's 8 by 9.3, and I do this when I'm doing my own designs to help me with placement on the cup. So I make this square, just change it to a different color, and then I'm going to import my tree image, which I have no idea where I got it, guys. I've had it forever. It's really, really big, so I'm going to size it to 4 inches wide. And they have these, long tree trunks, and I don't want those. So I'm going to make a square and size it up and basically slice off the bottom of those tree trunks. And I am going to duplicate this, and I am going to weld them together. And that's how, and then I'm going to stretch them out to the 9.3, and that's how I came up with those. But they're going to print as 2 different images, or cut, as 2 different images. So sorry, don't weld them. You really should just group them together and then size them to the 9.3. And these look like a little bit taller than I think I actually had. So, but what's nice about this is you can, once you have your square and you know how big your cup is, you can make it wider, thinner. It's pine trees, so they can be fatter, they can be skinnier. It's really nice. So you just size it to the width of your cup, and then you go in and start with your fonts, or your wording. And so I used Marboro, which is life, to type up the life is better. Arya, can you turn that off, please? I'm trying to do voiceover. My daughter comes walking in with music playing, and here it is in the background. So sorry, guys. So anyway, the life is better. I spaced the letters out a little bit because they're kind of tight together when you do it. And then I group and weld and center, and I don't get it right the first time. You see I'm doing that. And then I go in and group these together, actually weld them together. Then I'm going to type in the woods. I changed the font to Marker Felt. And guys, I don't know where I got these fonts from, probably either 1001 Fonts or DeFont. And then, you know, I'm doing the same thing with the in the woods. I'm grouping, I'm, you know, arranging them, and then I'm arranging both of those. And then after you've got them centered together the way you want them, just put them on your space and decide how big or how small you want it. And that's it for this designing, guys. And I'm putting on my first coat of epoxy in case you're bored or you want to see me do this for the 1000th time. All right, guys. So like I said, 2 coats going to be done. I will be back with my final credits. Thanks for watching, guys. Oh, and once your epoxy is on, make sure that you don't forget to torch and get out any of those bubbles. And I forgot to mention that it used 20 mLs of epoxy on this. So I didn't go super light, but I didn't go super heavy either because I am going to put another coat on. So make sure you just smooth your epoxy out. Don't overwork it because that will create more bubbles. And that is it for this part of it, guys. There we go. There's the kitchen torch. All right, guys, it's all done. See, didn't I tell you this was super easy? Like, how super easy is this? So, you know, go to Walmart, buy yourself some Duck Brand shelf paper and make yourself some wood grain, guys. Here's the bottom, just black, nice and easy. I am going to be making another wood grain tumbler, but I am going to do it with alcohol inks, and please be easy on me. I have been practicing, so I hope that you guys like the next video that's coming out. And then I promise I will move into the Christmas season. So thank you all for watching. Make sure you check the description down below for links to products that I used or where you can find them. Make sure you give me a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe, guys. It helps me out, like tons. So, you know, I'm trying to reach this 5,000 mark, and so I'm slowly climbing there, but the more subscribers, the better. Also, make sure you share, leave a comment. I love to hear your feedback. And that is it for this tutorial, guys. I will see you all next time. Bye.